Hello?
Welcome back, Tracy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Wow.
Right? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very tired. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
morning.
exhausting. Are you going to be sharing your screen at all, or should I share
No,
mine?
I can't do that with.
Okay, I'll do it.
Um,
Okay.
so you'll have to we'll have to do like we did last time because I don't
Okay,
have a
well,
microphone for my computer. So,
okay, it'll be a duet. So why don't we start with initially this? You were around for the Great Recession, right? In 2008, 9, you were
yep,
trading. Okay.
yep.
So I think the vol is even more extreme than it was then. Maybe it's because I'm old and my memory isn't as good, but the ranges, the illiquidity at times between the bid and offer in a lot of markets. And I don't think in 2008, the bond market became this dysfunctional where, the bid offer wasn't a 30-second, it was a full point between bid and offer last week. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen anything like this, Trace?
No, it's very strange. I mean, I had it, everybody's like, this isn't the financial crisis, this is just a virus. And I'm like, yeah, but it's almost worse because markets are freaking out everywhere. And so there's a lot of strange things going on in the markets. Absolutely.
All right,
And
so
they're razor thin. I mean, you look at, ES, look at crude. I mean, the markets are so thin, it's ridiculous.
yeah, it's like we're going through. Everyone was talking about market structure. Should the sanguine times of financial markets go away, and now we're seeing it in real time. So I've crude up here, Tracy, and I'll pull up the weekly chart. And yes, we're challenging. I'll even go even more macro and look at the monthlies because I know, uh, we're taking out the 2016 low right here. Tell us what you think. Were you surprised that Russia and the Saudis would have this oil war?
Well,
And who's going to
yeah.
blink? Who's going to
I,
blink, Trace?
I mean, yeah, I mean, absolutely. That came. I mean, I was already position short. As soon as this virus came, I knew. But yeah, that definitely came as a complete surprise. That came out of left field. So, really, I think looking at the situation right now, it looks like Russia's going to blink first. They just came out there. We're kind of getting a few hints from them. At first they came out and said we could, survive 25 to $30 oil for, 5 to 6 years. And then, yesterday we hit 20 and they kind of came out and said that was kind of a painful level for them. Luke Oil just cut CapEx today. So sort of getting hints from them that, this is kind of an uncomfortable range for them.
Any kind of level that is going to make sense fundamentally, because you could, there's nothing in the chart saying that there's a floor anywhere. Do you have any ideas of what may be a range for some type of floor at the end of this decline? Are we going to go to the teens at least?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could see us hitting like the November 2001 lows, which was right around, $17. We're kind of in that range. That would be kind of your next support level.
Okay,
I think that could happen if you look out to, it was November 2001.
Okay.
We were last out there.
So here we are.
Yeah, so kind of
it was still
see that.
20, but maybe this is WTI. Oh, November 2001?
2001, yeah.
Okay,
So
because here, okay. Oh, yeah,
we
1712 was the low, Trace.
Yep, right there. That's
okay.
So
All right,
there's
and then
kind of your
that was a major bottom after that.
That was a major bottom because remember that was after 9/11. So, oil kind of went sideways and then, then what happened after that. So
yeah.
Oil went, we went to the highs of all highs 10 years later.
Okay, so I mean, it doesn't feel like it's late to be launching shorts as well. I mean, sometimes our market.
I I mean, I wouldn't recommend anybody get short right here because I think a few things could happen here. Either,
Okay.
Russia blinks. You have to
Right.
realize this cut agreement is valid until March 31st, right? And
Okay.
then September 1st, and they're all adhering to it until then. So there is still time for kind of Saudis to pull back on that decision and for Russia to pull back on that decision.
Okay.
So, at any time, if that news hit the wires, we would bounce, 7, 8 bucks on that.
Okay.
So I wouldn't, I'd be very careful with the shorts here.
Okay.
Just personally.
I mean,
Because,
sometimes the right trade is no trade. That's where we're
yeah,
at now,
yeah.
in your
I mean, I
view.
kind of, in my view, yeah, unless you're already swing short and you're kind of, your last level, you're looking for like that 17 area, but I wouldn't be really looking to initiate a trade here just yet.
Okay. I get your Twitters a lot. How Twitter sends out highlights of people that are in your feed. And I know, even though a lot of people look at you as, an oil trader, that you follow so many things. I've seen you
Yeah.
retweet work. What else is on your radar that you're really concentrating on? Of course, Corona. I have a question.
Yeah.
Why when we look at the global map of Corona, do you have any idea why there are no red blotches on Russia?
Right? I brought that up the other day. I was
Oh,
like, it must be, I'm like, either they're
huh?
lying about their numbers or vodka's the cure all.
Yeah,
Oh, so yes, I think it seems very strange. I actually talked to somebody that's in Moscow, and kind of what they said that they think that there's just no testing available, and that
okay,
there's misdiagnosing people and things like
okay,
that. So a
That's
lot.
that's the case, Tracy. I have a friend of mine that actually works for ForexAnalytix. He lives
Finland.
in Finland, very very close to the Russian border.
Right.
So first of all, they've closed their borders, and second of all, yeah, I can attest to everything you just assumed.
So
Yeah.
that's why. Okay,
So yeah, so I just think, I mean, right now, I think today they just announced that they had their first death, and we're starting to see the numbers pick up there. But I think they were just not prepared as far as testing was concerned, and I thought a lot of people were just misdiagnosed with the flu.
all right. Well, I also know that you pay very close attention to yields. I mean, I remember when we had a severe gold break, and it's when yields were going up, and you said it's all about yields. So if it's all about yields, and Trace, I know you've been around for a while. I've never seen a treasury break like this during a risk-off environment. And
Oh
what do you think
yeah,
is behind this?
that was nuts. I actually, I don't. I mean, I don't
I don't
know.
know is a good answer.
I don't know. I'm so,
It's hard to
I mean, I
say I
think
don't know
either,
in this business,
either,
isn't it?
a lot of, I think a lot of people were in that trade. Like it was a very big
Yeah.
trade. It was a huge popular trade. So, it could be either, people are, taking profits or, I mean, it kind of got scary up there. It was, like a freight train. It was a parabolic move. So, I can see people, sort of cutting back. Plus, you need to cover something to cover your losses in, say, the equity markets, right? So that would be, after a parabolic move, that would kind of be a good place to.
Look at that monthly candle.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So, could it also be, and yields are starting to steepen again,
That's,
could it
by the
be,
way, a key reversal on a
yeah,
monthly for a
yeah,
market that's been in an uptrend for
30
decades.
years?
That says a
Right.
lot.
30 years. So the end of the bond bull market is possible in March. Could it be, I used to read things about liquidity crises, going all the way back to the 70s, because we had one in the early 80s, but it was by design with Volcker tightening and bringing rates up to, 19%. If rates go up now, it's not by design. But could it be just that there's going to be so much supply because of all the programs? I mean, they're going to send me
Right. I
$1,000.
mean, right.
So go ahead.
I mean, they're just throwing so much at this, and it's not just the Fed. I mean, every central bank
Yeah.
following suit. So, they're just trying to smash this market with as much liquidity as possible so that we don't have a credit crisis, right?
Yeah, and in fact, that's what actually is being sparked by the coronavirus. It's serious. I've been saying it's serious to be exposed to it, but it's also serious what it is exposing.
Right.
And I'm wondering if you, besides what's happening here, do you have a view on, a lot of people are disappointed. I shown the silver chart a monthly, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I would say, what's bullish about this chart? And that was, right in here. No havens except the dollar. Just that's it.
I mean, every metal. I mean, look at palladium, look at platinum. Gold's hanging in there because, it's gold. But pretty much everything else is being sold off, really. I mean, we've lost a third of market value across the index.
Yeah, there's
right?
another monthly key reversal, Steve Volke, and your favorite thing that you think is going to save you, called gold. So anyway, it's amazing to me. This is, what a lot of people wrote about, that when you have a liquidity crisis, people will sell anything to raise cash, right? So
Right.
that's what's going on. What do you see as
the danger in this case, though, Dale, is that, as you said, they're throwing even the kitchen at it.
Yeah.
Imagine what's going to happen when supply goes back to normal, which it is going to happen sooner or later, right?
Supply of
and
what?
all supply of goods, and all this liquidity is still in the system. We're talking about trillions and trillions. If you remember, I had assumed that during the next financial crisis, the Fed's balance sheet is going to double. It's going to go, let's say, to 8 trillion. I think I was mistaken.
You were conservative, yeah.
I was very conservative from what it seems.
Okay. Well,
I mean, they're going to have to withdraw some of that liquidity later. You can't have markets go back to normal and still have all that. I mean, it would be ridiculous. So
that is very true, but there is no perfect way to do it, unfortunately. I mean, you know how it is.
I totally agree. Yeah, no, I totally agree there.
So let me ask you this, Trace. A lot of people are going to hope for some type of V recovery when the virus ends. Normally, when there's this type of damage in the market, doesn't it take a period of time for the markets to heal before there is a recovery? Just like in health, you have to heal.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I definitely think it'll be more like a hockey stick recovery.
Okay.
Like a check mark, like, kind of a.
I bet you have a good slap shot.
I play field hockey. I'm not too bad.
All right. So, what do you do? Are you on the sidelines now, Trace? Make people feel comfortable that there's no law against.
There's
not
no
trading.
law. No, I'm the only thing that I'm trading right now the only thing that I'm in right now, to be honest, is currencies. That's it. I'm short CAD and short euro.
Okay, interesting. So CAD finally getting a little pullback here. Tell us why.
I mean, I've been short these for a while.
Okay, so you've been taking heat because this is we're approaching new all-time highs on the monthly here. Now this is not a bearish candle, and all I have to say to Steve is, if you believe in key reversals and bonds, and you just cover up the title, you would not be bullish, and that's what our biases do to us sometimes. And I'm not saying you're going to be wrong, but I'm just saying that sometimes it's easy to accept a monthly candle like this because you could make a bear case for it, and that's your bias, but tougher to make a bear case for this because your fundamental bias is the other way. Anyway, so you're short Canada. That has to mean that you're looking for a turn in the oil market. Is that part of the reasoning?
No, I'm short CAD, so I'm short. I'm literally short 60.
Oh, the futures. Okay.
I'm in the future, so I'm short.
Yeah,
CAD,
I got
USD,
it.
not that.
Yeah, and you're up there. So tell us what life is like in Toronto with the borders being closed, and are you guys?
I'm in Montreal, but
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I live away from the city now, so I
Okay.
live, you know, in a ski town, but they did close down the mountain and everything, so you know, it's kind of quiet. I mean, grocery stores are open. That's about it.
Toilet paper up there?
We have toilet paper, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I got some
Nobody,
toilet paper futures.
nobody went crazy toilet paper up here. I don't
Okay, yeah,
know
it's probably
why.
because Americans are anal. Okay, so anyway, that's why we went crazy.
We didn't have like none of our shelves were empty. The only thing that sold out was like Purell alcohol,
Yeah.
rubbing alcohol, Purell. I mean, that's about it.
Okay, so you have a great trade on in euro. It was holding up better than cable. Cable's already, as I was showing people in phase, cable's already taken out historical lows. What kind of downside objectives do you have in euro USD?
For my long-term targets
Yeah.
is 0.9.
59 cents?
So 0.9. So like 90 cents.
Oh, 90 cents. Okay.
Yeah.
90 cents. So the parity guys will finally have their day. Okay.
So yes, that's my long-term target. But you know, I mean, my targets in these are, you know, my target we just hit my CAD target of 68 and the futures that I had from, you know, January of last year. So
wow,
you know,
congratulations. Yeah.
and I just said something that I think I might need to lower that.
Right. Oh, okay.
But yeah, so my currency trades are very, very long-term trades.
Okay. Any view on equities? I mean,
You know,
have you ever seen a decline like this where you wipe out 4 years of gains in 3 weeks?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I don't know. I feel like the market's going to give one of those rips, and then we're still not quite done yet, because I think people get complacent here a little bit. We might see a market rip. You know how it is in like bear markets. You always get those
vicious,
screaming, vicious rips, and then we'll start seeing like Q2 data come in, you know, and I think then we could have, you know, another problem. Like I think markets are going to be volatile, you know, pretty much all year long. I don't really see, you know, because the after effects are going to be felt far after this virus is, you know, say in 2 months, you know, where kind of things are back to normal, etc. It's still going to leave a mark on GDP and things like that. So, you know, it's not going to be, you know, again, another reason why we're not going to see a V reversal. We'll see more of a hockey stick, yes.
Okay, is that your feeling that that's optimistic now, thinking that you know, we're going to have a rough 2 months here on the globe, and then things will dissipate? Because the U.S. is saying 18 months now to plan for this.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they say 12 to 18 months for a vaccine or whatnot. I mean, yeah, so I think that, I mean, hopefully, I mean, if you look at the models, well, if you trust any number out of China, which is kind of hard to do, so you have to look at peripheral indicators as far as is their economy really getting back up to running, and you know, there's all these conspiracies going on, but you know, we have to work with the data that we have. It's just what we have to work with. So if you kind of look at their data, and you know, the timeline's kind of been, you know, like 2.5 months that they're kind of getting back to normal. So hopefully that model carries over. Now, you know, who knows? You know, who knows? Will it affect the U.S. population like it affected the Chinese population? I mean, there's so many variables in it. It's really hard to quantify things right now exactly.
Okay, so is this fairly new for you, Trace? Do you have a page up like this? Did you have it last time? Like a little blog page?
Yeah, I had that. I don't update it often, so but there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah,
whenever,
September. You know. Yeah, okay. You haven't done anything
Not
since September.
recently.
You've just been counting all your pips being short Canada and Euro. You've been too busy, you know, just Okay.
Yeah, I know. I haven't kept it up, but there's some good stuff in there.
All right. Any final thoughts that you want to
I don't
give
know.
our audience?
Stay safe out there, and and it's always okay not to be in a position. Some of these markets are very, moving 100, 150 points at a time for ES is, not always easy to stomach for,
Yeah. So it's okay to be a spectator at times instead of a speculator.
Absolutely. Wait for the trade. Wait for your level. Wait for your trade. Like, this is the perfect time to practice patience and literally wait for your setup and don't try to second guess yourself.
All right. Well, we impatiently wait for your next interview.
Okay.
Tracy. So, I'll get in touch with you and we'll set something up. And I really want to thank you. Everyone, Tracy's very popular and she's a great follow. So at Shy GRL, I used to think it was girl, but it's grill. So Tracy, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us, and you're like a calm voice in the middle of a storm.
Well, thank you, and it's always a pleasure to be on with you guys.
Thank you, my trading warrior sisters. So that's going to be a wrap, everybody. I hope everyone has a decent day, and like Tracy said, and you're hearing it from a professional, that it's okay. And like Tom Petty says, the waiting is the hardest part. So be patient, except about joining during our promo here at ForexAnalytix. No patience for that, but you could. If you're not patient, how's this, Trace? If you're not patient, you can become one.
Yes, I like it.
All right. We don't want that to happen. All right, everyone. Good hunting. Thank you, Tracy. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. See everyone to wrap up the week. Adios.